All right, Deputy, can you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I am ready if you all are.
Yes, we are ready.
All right, good morning, Ms. Daya.
Good morning, Your Honor. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am well. Judge, I wanted to ask you if you'll be okay once I get sworn in for me to turn on my camera. I've been having some connectivity issues. I don't know if because of the storm or what.
No, not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. We'll do like normal. I'll go through it as a whole with everyone, and then I believe they've got the gentleman up who speaks Spanish, and we'll go through them individually and get you out of here as soon as possible.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Judge Marcus Thorpe. I'm one of the associate magistrate judges here in Clayton County, and it is approximately 11:01 a.m. here this morning, and this is First Appearance. We are streaming live here on YouTube, so I say that, ladies and gentlemen, just to remind you as I go through the instructions here this morning, and as I speak with you, each of you individually, to please keep that in mind with certain things that you say to me here this morning. First of all, let me say to you, I'm not here to try your case, to take a plea, or to have any legal discussions with you about specific facts of your case. The purpose of the first appearance hearing this morning is to inform you of the charges against you, to advise you of certain rights, to set bond on offenses for which the court is authorized to set bond, to schedule a preliminary hearing, to determine whether you require the assistance of an attorney. Now, ladies and gentlemen, each of you has the right to remain silent. Please do not attempt to tell me specific facts about your case or any legal defense you believe you have. As I said earlier, we are streaming live, and so anything you say during this proceeding can and will be used against you in later proceedings. In addition to the right to remain silent that I mentioned, each of you also has the following rights: the presumption of innocence, the right to a grand jury for felonies and by accusation for misdemeanors, the right to a speedy and public trial by jury, the right to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify on your own behalf, the right to see, hear, and question witnesses who are called to testify against you, the right to testify on your own behalf or offer evidence in your own defense, the right to have an attorney represent you. And if you cannot afford one, one can be appointed to you if you qualify. And then lastly, if there are those of you all who are not a citizen, some charges may adversely affect your immigration status. So you will need to consult an attorney after today's hearing. Now, among the things I said that I'm going to speak to you all about this morning, one of them is bond. Some of you will be allowed to post unrestricted bonds for your release from jail pending the prosecution of your case. Now, those bonds may be posted in one of three ways. It can be done by cash, commercial, or property. Now, if you could post a cash bond, that means that someone will deliver the full amount of the bond in cash together with any fees to the sheriff's office, who will hold it until your final court date, at which time that cash will be returned to you. So the example that I oftentimes give is that if I tell you you are charged with battery family violence and I give you a bond of $6,000, if you or someone you know brings $6,000 down along with the fees, gives it to the sheriff's office, the sheriff will hold it until your case is concluded and you'll be able to bond out. If I tell you you are charged with a battery family violence and you don't have $6,000 and you'd prefer to use a bonding company, you may do so. Typically, when you use a bonding company, they require that you post at least 15% of the bond, which in the case of my example, the family violence, where it's $6,000, your bond will be $750, and then they will post the rest. If you use a bonding company, however, please remember the $750 you posted, you do not get back. Lastly, and the third way that you can post bond would be through the use of a property bond. So if you or someone you know owns property that is 3 times what your bond is, they may bring the deed to that property down to the sheriff's office, who will hold it until your case concludes. Now, in addition to the bond, some of you will have special conditions on your bond, which mean that you are not to go certain places or talk to certain people. If you have that provision, such as a no contact provision, this means you must stay away and have no contact with the alleged victim. You may not call, text, email, write a letter to, or contact through any social media platform. You can't even do something as nice as send them flowers or a nice song, because that would be in violation of your bond. If I tell you that you are not to return to a particular location, that means you can't go back to that location for any reason. If the no return location is somewhere you lived before the alleged incident, please let me know and I will authorize you to go back, but only with someone from the Clayton County Sheriff's Office to collect your personal belongings that are not in dispute. You will need to, however, make an appointment with the sheriff within 10 days of your release. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the reason I emphasize making sure that you don't violate my bond orders and that you don't speak to this person if I tell you don't or don't go there, go back to that alleged incident location, because it's if you do violate that bond order and the court considers what you did to be intimidating or harassing, you could receive additional felony charges such as aggravated stalking or influencing a witness. And these types of charges carry up to 20 years in prison and or a $20,000 fine. Also, ladies and gentlemen, please keep in mind that if I tell you you are to have no contact with a particular person and that person is the alleged victim, you are not to have that person, who's either a spouse or family member or friend, to come down and try to help you post bond. Because remember, you can't have contact with them, so they can't do things even of that nature to help you. If you are on active probation, this court is not authorized to set bond at this time. Whether bond is appropriate in your case will be considered after your probation officer has had an opportunity to consider this new arrest. Now, before we begin going through the calendar, the last thing I do want to mention to you all is if you are charged with the felony, in addition to today's hearing, before you are officially indicted by the district attorney's office, you will have what's called a preliminary hearing if you don't make bond. Okay, I'm going to give you a date. However, if you are charged with a misdemeanor, you don't have to have that date. It's going to be up to you. And I'm going to ask each of you individually when you come up to the screen. A preliminary hearing is a hearing where you, the defendant, the police officer who arrested you, and the judge is present to go over the facts of your case and to determine if there's enough evidence to proceed to a hearing and to indict you, okay, or accuse you. If they believe there is not enough evidence, your case can be dismissed at that point. Doesn't mean it can't come back, but it'll be dismissed for that day. And so what I'm going to ask each of you all who are charged with misdemeanors when you come to the screen is whether you want that hearing or whether you want to waive that hearing. If you want that hearing, I'm going to give you a date. If you wish to waive that hearing, I will not give you a date, which means your case will move a little faster to the prosecutor. All right, ladies and gentlemen, with that, if I could have everyone please raise their right hand. Ladies and gentlemen, do you swear or affirm that the information that you're about to give to this court, as well as any information you provided on your application for court-appointed counsel, is true and correct? And if it is, I need each of you to say, I do. All right, you may put your hands down. All right, Deputy, can you tell me who we have here at the screen?
Judge, we have Felipe, we have Angel, and we have Acuna.
Okay, give me one moment.
And then we have two more gentlemen in the back, Judge. We have we have Win and So.
Right. Okay. So I have Win. Yeah. All right, Ms. Day, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, ma'am, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself to these gentlemen.
Buenos días, caballero. Mi nombre es Deyanira Bermúdez y yo voy a ser su intérprete en la mañana de hoy.
All right. All right, good morning, gentlemen. My name is Judge Marcus Thorpe.
Buenos días, caballeros. Yo soy el juez Marcus Thorpe.
Okay, and I'm going to speak to each of you individually about the charges that have brought you here today. And I'm going to discuss with you what this hearing is about here today.
Y yo voy a hablar con cada uno de ustedes de manera individual con respecto a los cargos que se le han traído o se le han imputado en su contra en el día de hoy.
Now,
And,
go ahead.
and I'm sorry, Judge, what was the last sentence?
I'm going to discuss why we are here today.
Y vamos a hablar de la razón por la que estamos acá en el día de hoy.
Okay. Now, before we begin, gentlemen, please remember I'm not here to take a plea or to have a legal discussion about your case. So please be careful what you say to me because this is recording.
Y antes de comenzar, recuerde que yo no estoy acá para aceptar una declaración a cargo o para juzgar su caso. O sea que cualquier cosa que usted me diga, tenga mucho cuidado porque esta audiencia está siendo grabada.
Now, keep in mind, each of you has the right to remain silent.
Tenga en mente que cada uno de ustedes tiene el derecho de permanecer en silencio.
You have the right to a presumption of innocence.
Usted tiene el derecho a la presunción de inocencia.
You have the right to a grand jury for felonies or accusation for misdemeanors.
Usted tiene el derecho a que el gran jurado le formule una acusación por los delitos graves o que se le formule una acusación para los delitos menores.
You have the right to a speedy and public trial by jury.
Tiene el derecho de tener un juicio sin demora público ante un jurado.
You have the right to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify on your own behalf.
Tiene el derecho de exigir la presencia de testigos para que testifiquen a su favor.
You have the right to see, hear, and question witnesses who are called to testify against you.
Y usted tiene el derecho de ver, de escuchar y contrainterrogar a los testigos que sean citados a testificar en su contra.
You have the right to testify on your own behalf or offer evidence in your own defense.
Usted tiene el derecho de atestiguar a su favor y de presentar pruebas para ser usadas en su defensa.
You have the right to an attorney to represent you, and if you can't afford one, one can be appointed to you if you qualify.
Usted tiene el derecho de tener un abogado para que lo represente y si usted no pudiese contratar uno le sería nombrado si usted califica.
Okay. Now, gentlemen, if any of you are not U.S. citizens, please keep in mind that you may want to seek an attorney for immigration purposes after the court date today.
Y caballeros, tengan en mente que si alguno de ustedes no son ciudadanos estadounidenses, quizás usted quisiera poder consultar con un abogado de migración después de la audiencia del día de hoy.
Now, if I could first have Mr. Angel Suarez.
Si puedo tener al señor Ángel Suárez primero.
Are you Mr. Suarez?
¿Es usted el señor Suárez? Yes.
Mr. Suarez, you are charged with one count of speeding.
Señor Suárez, ¿a usted se le imputa un cargo de manejar a exceso de velocidad?
One count of driving too fast for conditions.
Un cargo de manejar muy rápido para las condiciones.
And one count of driving without a license.
Y un cargo de manejar sin licencia de conducir.
Okay. Now, after reviewing the information I was provided, I have gone ahead and the decision has been made to release you today.
Después de yo haber revisado el día de hoy.
Okay. That does not mean that your case is over. It just means you will be able to go home until you get a new court date in the mail.
Esto no significa que ya su caso terminó. Esto lo que significa es que usted va a poder irse a su casa y que va a recibir un nuevo citatorio de cuándo presentarse en el tribunal por correo.
Okay. Are you currently working, sir?
Actualmente, ¿está usted trabajando, señor?
Sí.
Yes.
And how much money do you make per month?
¿Y cuánto gana usted por mes?
4,000.
4,000.
Do you have any children, sir?
¿Tiene usted niños, señor?
Sí.
Yes.
And how many?
¿Cuántos?
2.
2.
So based on the information you provided to me, sir, I am not going to be able to appoint you a lawyer. So if you would like one for your case, you will need to hire your own. Do you understand that?
Basada en la información que usted me ha suministrado, señor, yo no voy a poder asignarle un abogado. O sea que usted tendría que contratarse su propio abogado. ¿Me entiende usted?
Okay.
Yes.
Now, last thing I need to ask you is, well, I guess you're being waved out, so I don't need to ask him that. Scratch that, Ms. Daya.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any questions of me, Mr. Suarez?
Señor Suárez, ¿tiene usted alguna pregunta para mí?
No.
No.
All right, so the deputy to your right there is going to have a piece of paper for you to sign. And once you sign that piece of paper, sir, that's all I have for you this morning.
Señor, el alguacil que va a estar a su derecha va a tener un papel para que usted lo firme y después que usted lo firme, eso es todo lo que tengo para usted en la mañana de hoy.
Okay. If I could have next, I believe it's Mr. Pineda.
Si puedo tener al señor Pineda.
Are you Mr. Pineda?
¿Es usted el señor Pineda?
Sí.
Yes.
Good morning, sir. My name is Judge Marcus Thorpe.
Buenos días, señor. Yo soy el juez Marcus Thorpe.
Buenos días.
Good morning.
Now, sir, you are charged with one count of driving without a license,
Señora, ¿a usted se le imputa un cargo de manejar sin licencia de conducir?
no proof of insurance,
No tener prueba de tener seguro en su vehículo,
running a red light,
de cruzarse un semáforo en rojo
and attempting to conceal your license plate.
y de tratar de esconder sus placas.
Now, based on the information I have before you, I am going to release you this morning.
Basada en la información que yo tengo con respecto a usted, yo le voy a permitir ser puesto en libertad en la mañana de hoy.
Now, that doesn't mean your case is over. It just means you'll get your next court date in the mail.
Esto no significa que ya su caso terminó, lo que significa es que usted va a recibir un citatorio por parte del tribunal indicándole cuándo tiene que presentarse en el correo.
All right. Are you currently working, sir?
¿Está trabajando usted actualmente, señor?
Sí.
Yes.
And how much do you make per month?
¿Y cuánto gana usted por mes?
3.500, 3.000. No tengo sueldo fijo.
I don't have a fixed salary, 3,000, 3,500.
Okay. Do you have any children?
¿Tiene usted niños?
Sí.
Yes.
How many?
¿Cuántos?
2.
2.
Do you take care of them by yourself or with someone else?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, can you repeat that for the interpreter?
Do you take care of your children by yourself or with someone else?
¿Se ocupa usted o mantiene usted a sus niños usted solo o con alguien más?
Solo.
Myself.
Their mother doesn't help you?
¿La mamá no le ayuda?
Ella está en Perú, yo la mantengo allá, ahí a la vez.
She's in Peru, and I support her over there as well.
All right, sir. So I'm going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer this morning. So once you are released, please expect a phone call from an attorney free of charge to help you.
Ok, señor, yo le voy a asignar un abogado de oficio en la mañana de hoy, o sea que tan pronto usted lo pongan en libertad, espere tener una llamada por parte del abogado para ayudarle.
Ok, gracias.
Ok,
All right,
thank
sir.
you.
The officer to your right will have a piece of paper for you to sign, and once you sign that, that's all I have for you.
El oficial que está a su derecha va a tener un papel el cual usted tiene que firmar y después que usted lo firme, eso es todo lo que tengo para usted.
And officer, I believe you said the last person was a Felipe.
Yes, sir, he's right here.
Yes, sir. Like my name.
I don't have that listed. Was that a carryover from yesterday?
I'm not entirely sure, 'cause I wasn't here yesterday. His last name is
Sanabria.
Sanabria.
Okay. Got it.
First
I'm
name
about
Chris.
to- Yeah,
Yeah, I
I've
don't-
got it right here.
I didn't want to
Okay.
mispronounce his last name.
Okay, I've got it. All right, are you is it Sanabria?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do you understand English?
Little bit to speak.
Okay, so we're gonna do this in Spanish. All right, so let's see. Mr. Sanabria, I am the judge that's gonna talk to you about your charges.
Señor Sanabria, yo soy el juez que va a hablar con usted con respecto a sus cargos.
You have been charged with failure to stop at a stop sign
A usted se le imputa el cargo de no pararse en un pare
and driving without a license.
y de manejar sin licencia de conducir.
Okay. Now, after reviewing the information before me, I am going to go ahead and release you this morning.
Después de revisar la información que tengo ante mí, yo voy a proceder y lo voy a poner en libertad en la mañana de hoy.
However, that does not mean that your case is over. It just means you will be released here today.
Esto no significa que su caso ya terminó, eso solamente significa que a usted lo van a poner en libertad acá en el día de hoy.
Do you have any questions about that, sir?
¿Tiene usted alguna pregunta con respecto a eso, señor?
No sé,
No.
sir.
Okay. Are you currently working, sir?
Actualmente, ¿está usted trabajando, señor?
Sí, yes.
Yes.
And about how much money are you making per month?
Más o menos, ¿cuánto gana usted por mes?
3,000.
3,000.
Okay. Do you have any children, sir?
¿Tiene usted niño, señor?
My girlfriend is pregnant.
Okay, I believe he said his girlfriend's pregnant. Okay. So she's not working, is she?
Ya que ella no está trabajando. ¿Está trabajando ella?
No, ella no puede porque el embarazo es de alto riesgo.
No, she can work because she has a high-risk pregnancy.
Okay. All right, sir. So what's going to happen then, in addition to your being released today, I will go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer here this morning to help you with your case moving forward, okay?
Ok, señor, que aparte, lo que va a ocurrir es que aparte de ponerlo en libertad acá en el día de hoy, yo voy a proceder y le voy a asignar un abogado de oficio, el cual le va a ayudar a usted con su caso. ¿Está bien?
Muchas gracias.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions for me about anything, sir?
¿Tiene usted alguna pregunta para mí, señor, con respecto a alguna cosa?
No, sir. Thank you so much.
All right, sir. Yes, sir. And so what's going to happen is the officer to your right, he's going to have a piece of paper. He or she's going to have a piece of paper for you to sign. And then once you sign that piece of paper, that is all I have for you this morning, sir.
Lo que va a ocurrir, señor, es que el alguacil que está a su derecha, él o ella, le va a suministrar un documento, el cual usted tiene que firmar. Y después de esto, eso es todo lo que tengo para usted, señor, en el día de hoy.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, sir. Good luck to you.
Sí, señor, buena suerte.
And Deputy, I believe that was all of the Spanish-speaking individuals we had this morning.
Yes, sir, that is. We
Okay.
also
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
we have a Vietnamese, last name pronounced Nguyen, but it's spelled G, Y, yeah, N-G-Y-U-N or something like that.
Yep. Yeah, I've got them too. We could do those two last, okay?
Yes, sir.
So what I wanted to thank you, Ms. Daya.
You are very welcome, Your Honor. Good to see you, Judge.
Thanks to you, ma'am.
Want to do the females first?
Yes, please.
Okay. Who's first?
It should be Miss Diana Evans. This is on Jot since we're on already. All those gentlemen were on Jots. I've got Diana Evans first, and then after Miss Evans, I have Spirit Gordy, and then Larkin. So Evans, Gordy, and Larkins in that order.
Gordon and Larkins.
Are you Miss Evans? Is that a yes, ma'am?
Diana Maria Evans.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Miss Evans, you are charged here by the police on this particular case with 1 count of tampering with evidence and 1 count of possession of a drug-related object. So, Miss Evans, I have reviewed the information that the police provided me when they arrested you. So I am going to go ahead, Miss Evans, and dismiss that charge against you for the tampering with evidence, the felony charge. And so that means that all you have remaining is the misdemeanor possession of drug-related objects. Do you understand that, ma'am? Do you hear me, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. Now, based on the information I have before me, I am going to go ahead and release you this morning on that charge, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. And I understand that you are not working. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I am going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer, ma'am. So when you get out, you're going to get a call from an attorney free of charge that can help you on your case, okay? All right, ma'am. So the deputy's gonna have a piece of paper for you to sign. And once you sign that paper, that's all I have for you this morning, ma'am. Good luck to you.
Thank you, sir. I'm Thank you.
They gotta wait for the people.
It's a process, though, but come to us, it's okay, ma'am.
Go ahead, go ahead.
The Spirit Gordy, then Miss Larkin. Are you Miss Gordy?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Miss Gordy, you are charged here with one count of criminal trespass. Ma'am, I have reviewed the information that was provided to me here this morning. I am gonna go ahead, ma'am, and release you here this morning. But let me be honest, let me tell you one thing, ma'am. You are, well, the place that you were staying at, is that yours or the gentleman? Whose home is that?
You said who's who?
Whose apartment? My understanding, you were involved in an alleged altercation with another gentleman. You both were arrested.
Yes, sir.
All right, whose home is that?
Both of ours.
Okay. So I am gonna go ahead. I am gonna release you this morning.
I said, but sorry, can you, oh, I'm
Say that
sorry.
again.
I was saying that my name is the head, like I'm on the head of the house.
You mean as far as the lease?
Yes, sir.
Okay, got you. I am gonna go ahead and release you, ma'am, this morning and allow you to return back to that home, okay?
Yes, sir.
But I am gonna ask that until this case is resolved, you are to have no contact with Daquan Pickle. Do you understand?
Sir.
And I'm gonna tell him the same thing when he comes up here, that you all are not to have contact with one another unless this case is over or that bond order gets modified. Do you understand?
Sir.
All right, so I will release you this morning on that. I see here it says you are working, is that right?
Yes.
And you're earning about 20, it says 2,100 a month?
Around about, yes.
Okay, do you have any children, ma'am?
No, sir.
All right, ma'am. So based on this information, I am not going to be able to appoint you a court-appointed lawyer this morning. And so that means if you would like a lawyer for your case, you will have to go ahead and hire your own. Do you understand that? Well, actually, you know what, ma'am? You're right on the line. I'll go ahead and I'll give you a lawyer this morning, okay?
I appreciate you.
Yes, ma'am. So I'm going to give you a lawyer free of charge. They will be in contact as soon as you are released to go ahead and go over your case with you, ma'am. When you look to your right there, the deputy will have a piece of paper for you to sign. Once you sign that, ma'am, that's all I've got for you this morning.
All right, thank you. You have a good day.
You too. All right, it should be Miss Larkins. And then after Larkins, I've got Middleton, Randall, and Woods.
Middleton, Randall, and Middleton. What was the last name you said, Judge?
Woods, Ariel Woods.
Middleton, Randall.
Middleton, Randall, and Woods. Hi, are you Miss Larkins?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Miss Larkins, you have been charged with one count of aggravated assault and one count of cruelty to children in the first degree, ma'am. Your bond amount as it relates to aggravated assault, currently based on that charge, ma'am, is going to be a no bond. So I am not permitted based on the allegations to give you bond on that charge this morning. The cruelty to children in the first degree, your bond is $10,000 on that. As based on the allegation, ma'am, you are to have no contact with Haley Adams, and you are not to return to the address of 415 Sylvia Drive, apartment H1. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes, sir. That's my apartment and her dad's.
Yes, ma'am. I understand that. I do understand that. But until this is modified by a judge at a later time based on these allegations, ma'am, you are not to return. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, Miss Parkins, if at some, you will have an opportunity to have another judge review your bond. So I'm going to give you 2 court dates, ma'am. So I need you to listen to me. You're going to get a bond hearing date for them to reconsider your bond. That's going to be on June 28th of next month. You're also going to get a preliminary hearing date. So if you don't get a bond, between now and June, then your preliminary hearing date is going to be June 26th. And that's going to be at 8:30 a.m. as well. So you've got 2 court dates, preliminary hearing, June 26th, bond hearing date, June 28th. Both are at 8:30 a.m. and it's via Zoom. Do you understand, Ms. Larkin?
Yes.
Now, Ms. Larkins, based on the information that you provided to me here this morning, I am going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer this morning. You will have a lawyer free of charge to assist you. Do you understand?
Yes. Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Larkins, do you have any questions of me, ma'am?
No.
All right, ma'am. Good luck to you. All right, it should be Middleton, Randall, excuse me. Yeah, it should be Randall and Wood. Excuse me. Yeah, Middleton, Randall, and Woods. Are you Miss Middleton? Ma'am?
That's her.
We'll take it.
So, Ms. Middleton, you are charged with 1 count of driving under the influence, 1 count of open container, 1 count of hit and run, and then also 1 count of disorderly conduct and open container. Your bond amount for the DUI is $5,000, for the open container, $500, for the hit and run, $3,000, disorderly, $1,500, open container, $1,000. So your total bond, ma'am, is $11,000. Do you understand that? Ma'am?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I see that you are not working, is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, so I am gonna go ahead, ma'am, and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer to help you on your case free of charge. Do you understand that? Ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the last question I have for you is because you are charged with misdemeanors, you have the right to a preliminary hearing, or you have the right to waive that preliminary hearing, as I mentioned earlier. Which would you like to do, ma'am? Have that hearing or waive that hearing?
Waive it.
Okay. I am going to show that you have asked that I waive that hearing for you this morning, Ms. Middleton. And so based on that, ma'am, the deputy is going to have a piece of paper for you to sign next to you. You'll sign that piece of paper, ma'am, and that's all I have for you this morning, okay? Okay, ma'am?
Step on that. Yes, sir, she heard you.
Okay. All right, so it should be now Randall and Wood. Are you Miss Randall?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Ms. Randall, you are also charged with 1 count of driving under the influence, 1 count of impeding traffic flow, 1 count of failure to maintain lane, 1 count of possession of less than 1 ounce of marijuana, and 1 count of possession of drug-related objects. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions about what we've talked about so far?
No, sir.
All right, so ma'am, now I'm gonna talk with you about your bonds for each of those charges, beginning with the DUI, ma'am. Your bond amount is $2,500. Your bond amount for the impeding traffic flow is $500, maintain lane, $500, marijuana, $1,500, and the drug-related objects is $500, for a total bond of $5,500. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, I understand here that you are working and you're earning about $3,000 a month. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any children, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
How many?
3.
Do you take care of them alone or with someone else?
I take care of them with someone else.
Okay. So based on that, ma'am, I am not going to be able to appoint you a court-appointed lawyer this morning. So you will have to hire your own. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, lastly, I spoke earlier about a preliminary hearing. Would you like to have that hearing, ma'am, or waive that hearing?
I waive it.
All right, so ma'am, I'm going to show that you are waiving your right to the preliminary hearing this morning. And so as you step from where you are now, the deputy will have a piece of paper for you to sign. And once you sign that piece of paper, ma'am, that's all I have for you this morning. Do you have any questions before I let you go?
Can you tell me my bond amount again? I'm sorry.
$5,500.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right. And after Woods, we'll go ahead and start with the men. I've got Behringer,
We have
Beans.
we have 2 more females, Judge. Step on them.
Oh, off Johnson. Yes, I'm sorry.
We have
Thank
Ms.
you.
Woods, we have Ms. Woods and 2 more females.
Yep, thank you for reminding me. Are you Miss Woods?
Yes.
All right, give me 1 second. Let me see where-
You did, Judge.
So, Ms. Wood, you're charged here with 1 count of violating a family violence order as a misdemeanor. Ma'am, based on that allegation, ma'am, I am going to give you a bond this morning. However, your bond amount, ma'am, will be $10,000. Do you understand, ma'am? I'm sorry?
I do, yes.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this, was this, and you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but this appears to have been at a home, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Is that a place where you were living prior to this happening?
Yes.
Okay. So you and Miss Richards were living at the same location, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I am gonna go ahead. I'm gonna give you the bond. The bond's gonna be $10,000. I am going to ask, however, that you not have any contact with Miss Tanya Richards. Do you understand this, ma'am?
Yes.
Now, I want to be clear with you. There's already been one allegation of you violating the bond. You don't want to do that again. Do you understand? Ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. Now, in addition to your not having contact with Miss Richards, I am also requiring that you stay away from this address of 9469 Whaley's Lake. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. And so if you have any items there that you need to get, you will, if you make your bond, have to get with the sheriff's office from Clayton County, and they will escort you over there. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now, lastly, I see here that you are not working. Is that correct?
Yes.
So I am going to go ahead, ma'am, and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer that will assist you on your case free of charge. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And then I'll ask you just one last thing. As far as a preliminary hearing goes, ma'am, would you like to have a preliminary hearing or waive your preliminary hearing?
I'll have it.
All right, so ma'am, your preliminary hearing date then is going to be next month, June 25th, and that's going to be at 8:30 a.m. and that's going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right, so and now you're going to have that hearing only if you don't make your bond. If you make your bond, you're going to automatically waive that right. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, so just to kind of go over things again, your bond is $10,000. You are to have no contact with the alleged victim. You are also to stay away from that incident location. So if you have any items there that belong to you, ma'am, if and when you make your bond, please get with the sheriff's office. They will escort you over there. Otherwise, you are not to return. You've also said that you would like to have your preliminary hearing date. And so based on that, ma'am, I have gone ahead and given you that date, and that is going to be June 25th of 2024. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes.
All right. Any questions for me, ma'am?
No, sir.
All right, ma'am. Well, good luck to you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Give me your last name.
my name is Meredith.
All right, Miss Meredith, give me 1 second, please.
Okay.
I believe is it Miss Cassandra? Ma'am?
Yes, Cassandra.
All right, so Ms. Meredith, you are charged with 1 count of battery, ma'am. Your bond amount is going to be $5,000. You do have special conditions as well, ma'am, and that they're going to be that you stay away from the alleged victim, Miss Joanne Ross. Do you understand? And you are also to stay away from the incident location where this occurred as well. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Now, are you currently working, ma'am?
No.
Okay, so I am going to go ahead and I'm going to appoint you a court-appointed lawyer free of charge. So you will have a lawyer to assist you on your case. The last question I have for you, ma'am, is preliminary hearing. Would you like to have that hearing, ma'am, or waive that hearing? All right, so ma'am, I'm going to show that you are waiving your hearing. And so the deputy to your right there will have a piece of paper for you to sign. Once you sign that paper, that's all I have, ma'am.
You said my bond is $5,000?
Yes, excuse me. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And I believe we have Miss Lynn. Is that it?
Cashmere Brown.
Hey, how you
Oh,
doing?
Cashmere Brown. Okay. All right, Miss Brown, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm well, ma'am. I am well. Give me 1 moment here. Grab your paperwork. All right, so Ms. Brown, you are charged in 2 separate cases here. One is for criminal damage to property in the 2nd degree, and one for a simple battery. As far as the criminal damage in the second, your bond amount is $3,000. On the simple battery, your bond amount is $2,500 for a total bond of $5,500. Do you understand that, ma'am? Ma'am, do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Now you do have special conditions, and they are to stay away from a Cameron Pierce and from the address of 5738 Old Dixie Road in Building B. Do you understand that?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
That's the home that I live in, so how am I supposed to stay away from there?
Sure. So if in fact you make the bond on this, the 5,500, you're gonna, unless you get it, the bond altered until your case closes, you're not allowed back on that property, ma'am, unless you go with the sheriff to get your items. So you will not be able to live there unless you modify that, but you can go there if you need to get some things that belong to you. Do you understand?
Yes,
Okay, and I see it says here, ma'am, are you working right now?
I am, but I just don't know my monthly rate, like my monthly pay.
Oh, and when you said you don't does it vary? Is that what it is?
Yes,
Okay, on average, about how much are you making per month?
probably like 2,500 or just 2,000.
Okay, what kind of work do you do?
I'm a cashier and I'm a server.
At what particular restaurant?
Juicy Crab.
Okay, so when you say it varies, it depends on the hours. Is that it, Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Okay. Ma'am, so based on that, I am gonna go ahead and I will appoint you a court-appointed lawyer, ma'am, to help you on your case. And lastly, because you are charged with a felony criminal damage, I need you to know that if you don't make your bond, your next court date is going to be June 26th at 8:30 a.m. and that's via Zoom, okay?
Okay.
So again, your total bond is 5,500. You're to stay away from Mr. Pierce and that address. You're to also have a court-appointed attorney that I'm going to give you this morning, and your next court date is going to be June 26th. You had a question?
I do. So I'm literally a minor, but I just stopped being a minor like this month.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really not sure how y'all want me not to go to the residence. I've been seeing it. And then that is also my blood brother. So I really don't see why we have to stay away from each other.
So, ma'am, I mean, I can't comment on those things. You know, that will probably be better served for your lawyer to assist you on. But based on the allegations I have before me, ma'am, I'm not going to allow you to be able to return right now.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes, ma'am.
And what's the one more time?
5,500.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
All right, Judge, she was last female.
Okay, I had, so Danielle Lynn, is that a male?
Yes, that's a male.
Okay, yeah. All right, so then we can go ahead with the on-jots. I've got Larry Behringer, Jeffrey Bean, and McKevin Dure, D-U-R-E. Behringer, Beans, Dure.
Behringer first. I need Behringer first. I need Bean second. Jeffrey Bean second.
And then Dure.
I need Kevin Dure. McKevin Dure.
All right, are you Mr. Behringer?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Mr. Behringer, you are charged here with one count of criminal damage in the second degree. That is a felony, sir. And so I have to give you a preliminary hearing date. Your next court date, should you not make your bond, is going to be June 26th at 8:30 a.m., sir. Your total bond right now is $3,500. Do you understand that?
So is that like $300?
What do you mean? If you want to use a bonding company? No, sir. If you want to use a bonding company, it would be about $500 to bond out.
Thank you.
Okay.
Is there anything that I have to abide by?
Say that one more time, Mr. Behringer.
Is there anything I need to abide by, like when you were saying?
Special conditions? Yes, sir. You do have one special condition, and that's to stay away from the address of 3744 Laramie Road, where this allegedly happened. Do you understand?
Sir.
You said yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, sir, I see here you are not working. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I was supposed to start my job this week, this Thursday, but I guess
Right, I understand. So based on that, sir, I am going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer. So you will have a lawyer free of charge to assist you on this case, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. So that's all I have for you. You are charged with one count of criminal damage. 3,500 is the bond. Your next court date will be the 26th of June, and I've given you a lawyer free of charge. Good luck to you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up should be Mr. Bean. He didn't waive, it was a felony. Are you Mr. Beans? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Right, Mr. Beans, you are charged with one count of an outstanding wanted person located, felony arrest, and then driving on the wrong side of the roadway. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Now, because you were charged with that one count of driving on the one side of the road, I've given you a bond of $500 on that and a bond on the wanted person of $500 for a total bond of $1,000. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. So I understand you are not working. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So I am going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer here this morning to help you on your case. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Did you hear me, Mr. Beans?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. And then lastly, sir, if you don't make your bond, your next court date is going to be June 25th, and that's going to be at 8:30 a.m., and that's going to be via Zoom. Do you understand,
Correct.
Mr. Beans?
Correct.
Okay. All right, sir. Do you have any questions for me about anything?
No.
All right, sir. Then again, you have a bond amount of $1,000. Your next court date is going to be June, and that's going to be the 25th. That's going to be at 8:30 a.m. That's via Zoom. Should you not make your bond, I've given you a lawyer free of charge here this morning to help you on your case. And so obviously they will be in touch as you move forward so that they can help you. That's all I have for you, sir, this morning. Good luck to you. All right, should be Mr. Dure, and then after Mr. Dure, we have Edwards, Howell, and Jones. Edwards, Howell, and Jones. All right. All right. Are you Mr. Is it Dure? Am I pronouncing it correctly?
Yes, sir. Dure.
All right. So, Mr. Dure, you were charged in this with one count of simple battery family violence. Now, let me say this, Mr. Dure. I am, based on some information that was provided to me this morning, I am going to release you and dismiss your case this morning. But let me say this, Mr. Dure.
Yes, sir.
I need you to listen to me. I am dismissing it this morning, Mr. Dure, but I need you to understand there was some information that was missing. If that information comes to light at a later time, I need you to understand that the prosecutor's office can decide to bring these charges back against you. I'm not saying they will, but they can if they so choose. Do you understand?
I understand, sir.
All right, sir. So that's all I have for you. The case has been dismissed today. You will be released later sometime today.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right, should be Mr. Edwards and then Mr. Howell. Are you Mr. Arland Edwards?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Mr. Edwards, you are charged with one count of driving on a suspended license and one count of seatbelt violation. Your bond on the suspended license is $1,500. Your bond amount on the seatbelt violation is $500 for a total bond of $2,500. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Now, based on the information you provided to me this morning, sir, I am not going to be able to give you a lawyer free of charge. If you would like one to assist you on your case, you will have to get your own. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now, lastly, because you're charged with misdemeanors, you have that right to that preliminary hearing, or you can waive that right. Which would you like to do? Have the hearing or waive it?
I like to waive the right to the hearing.
All right, sir. So I'm going to show that you are waiving your right to the hearing. And so the deputies to your right there will have a piece of paper for you to sign. And once you sign that, sir, that's all I have for you this morning. Good luck to you.
Yeah, I already got paid the bond already for that. Is
Okay, well, it's not showing on what I have this morning, but if that turns out to be the case, you should not have to pay it again. Thank you, sir. He waived, so he does need to sign.
The judge.
Hey, Judge, good morning.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Beans, he said this is not his correct date of birth. Jeffrey Beans,
Okay, otherwise, what the charge is correct,
are your charges correct?
that he knows?
He said that driving on the wrong side of the road, yes.
Okay, hold on. So let me grab.
All right, so come back.
So, Mr. Beans, come on up to the come on up. So I'm showing I had a date of birth of July 1st, 96. Does that's not you?
That is, but on there, on that tablet, it shows something totally different.
Okay, now, I'm gonna ask you a question. If you choose not to answer it, you don't have to, okay?
That's fine.
I'm not gonna talk to you about your charges, but have you ever lived in Newton County?
Yes.
Okay. So the date of birth may be wrong, sir, but it appears the allegations are correct. And so if it turns out that something is wrong, remember I gave you a lawyer this morning, so I will speak to the lawyer so they can clarify that then, okay? But it appears that the charges may be correct. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I'm trying not to get into too much detail because I don't want you to say something that's going to hurt you on this recording, but it appears that the charges against you may be correct and that may just be a typographical error. Okay? All right, good luck to you. Mr. Edwards, is that right?
Oh, he just left?
Oh, yeah, Howell, Mr. Howell.
Yes,
Mr. Howell, you were charged with 1 count of driving with a suspended license, sir.
Yes, sir.
So the only.
For a bond amount, sir, is $1,500, okay?
Yes, sir.
I see you are working. How much are you earning per month?
Per month?
Yeah.
Probably like 2.
Okay, do you have any kids?
Yes, sir.
How many?
I got 1, but I have 2 on the way.
Okay, so I am gonna go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer, sir, this morning. So you will have a lawyer free of charge to help you on your case, okay?
Yes, sir.
Lastly, you are charged with misdemeanor. So you have the right to that preliminary hearing we talked about earlier, or you can waive that right. Which would you like to do? Have the hearing or waive the hearing?
I'm gonna waive it.
All right, sir. So I'm gonna show that you are waiving your hearing this morning. And so the deputies there to your right will have a piece of paper for you to sign. Once you sign that piece of paper, sir, that's all I have for you this morning, okay?
Okay, one question. So I do have a bond, so it's like 1,500?
1,500, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
That bond.
Thank you.
Transfer it to another county.
All right, next up should be Jones, Lundy, or Lowndy, and Nelvis. Are you Mr. Jones?
Yes, sir.
What do you need, Judge?
Lowndy and Nelvis are right behind him.
Who's Nelvis?
Once you pay this,
You know?
go back to court.
Give me 1 second, sir.
You don't have to come back. Because, I mean, the Clayton County, because you haven't had the charges yet. So every county you commit a crime in, you have to go to that county and answer to those ones.
Yeah, they are.
All right, so Mr. Jones, you are charged here by the police with 1 count of criminal trespass, family violence, sir. Your bond amount is $2,500. You do have special conditions, sir, and those are to stay away from Zakeisha Brimage, as well as the address of 8589 Jonesboro Court. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir, but I am staying there. All my stuff is there.
And I understand if you heard what I said earlier, sir, if you make your bond and you have things that belong to you there, until that bond is modified, the only way you can go there is within 10 days of your release. You may be escorted by the sheriff of Clayton County, who will then take you there to get any items that belong to you. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. And so after I bond out, I can just ask the sheriff here to do that for me. I can set it up. Or it'll be
Yes,
10
sir.
days after my release.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, I see you're working here. Do you have any children?
Yes, sir. I have a little girl.
Do you take care of her by yourself?
Yes, yes, sir. Well, it's me and her mama, but I get in and she good. So it's like joint. We split.
Okay. So I am gonna go ahead, sir, and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer based on what you told me this morning. Lastly, I talked about a preliminary hearing. Would you like to have that hearing or waive that hearing?
I'll wait.
All right, sir. So I am gonna show that you waived your right to the preliminary hearing this morning. And so based on that information to me, sir, the deputies to your right there are gonna have a piece of paper for you to sign. And once you sign that piece of paper, sir, that's all I have for you this morning, okay?
All
All right, good luck to you, sir.
right. Thank you.
Have a,
Next up should be Lowndy, Nelvis, and then we can add Pierce. Lowndy, Nelvis, and Pierce.
Now, Ms. Melvin, Pierce.
have them sit aside.
Are you Mr. Lowndy?
Yes, sir, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you, sir?
Fine.
All right, so So Mr. Lowndy, you are charged with 1 count of speeding and 1 count of driving under the influence of alcohol. Your bond amount as to the speeding is $500. Your bond amount as to the DUI is $2,500. So your total bond amount, sir, is $3,000. Do you understand that? Is that a yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I see here you're working. About how much are you earning per month?
Maybe around 2,000, I believe.
Children?
Huh?
You have any children?
No.
All right, so unfortunately, sir, based on the information that you have provided, I am not going to be able to grant you a lawyer free of charge. So if you would like a lawyer, you will have to obtain your own. Do you understand that?
Okay.
Lastly, sir, I spoke about a preliminary hearing. Would you like to set that hearing date or waive that hearing date?
Waive it.
All right, sir, so I'm going to show that you are waiving your preliminary hearing date here this morning. And so that means the deputies there to your right will have a piece of paper for you to sign. And once you sign that piece of paper, sir, that's all I have for you here this morning. Good luck to you.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Nelvis and Pierce be where we are. All right, are you Mr. Nelvis?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Mr. Nelvis, you are charged with 1 count of battery family violence. And then you are also charged with 1 count of giving false information to a police officer. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, as far as the battery family violence, your bond amount is $3,500. And as to the giving false information, your bond amount is $1,500 for a total bond of $5,000. Do you understand that?
Sir.
Now, you do have special conditions, sir. And those special conditions include the following. 1, to stay away from a Miss Danica Lewis.
Yes, sir.
2, also stay away from the address of 628 R359 Southside Commercial Parkway. So that's where this allegedly happened, okay?
Sir.
Now, because you are charged with misdemeanor, sir, you have the right to that preliminary hearing I mentioned, or you can waive your right to that hearing. Which would you like to do? Have it or waive it?
Wait.
All right, sir. I'm going to show you are waiving your right to that hearing this morning. And I have also granted you a lawyer free of charge to help you out on your case, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. Do you have any questions for me before I let you go?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. That's all I have for you this morning. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up should be Mr. Pierce.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. And then after Pierce, I've got,
I got Pickle, Rice, Richardson.
that's it.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
And then we gotta come back and do the other mails.
Yes, sir. All right. So you are Mr. Pierce, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Pierce, you are charged with 1 count of simple battery family violence. Your bond amount, sir, is $3,500, and you are to have no contact with the alleged victim in this matter, that being a Miss Kirsten Johnson. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. So can I ask you a question, Judge?
Yes, ma'am. I mean, yes, sir. Excuse me.
Look, I had got locked up with my baby sister, Cashmere, that we had got into. I didn't even have
Right.
nothing to do with Kirsten.
Okay, and that's fine.
Locked up.
And remember, hold on. Remember what I said earlier? You don't want to get into the
Yeah,
facts.
you right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you don't want to tell me that, but that's for your lawyer to talk with you about, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I am gonna go ahead. I've given you a bond of $3,500. You're to stay away from Kirsten and that address, 5738 Old Dixie.
Okay, yes, sir.
If you were living there before this happened, sir,
I have to get my stuff.
and when you make your bond with the sheriff's office, and they will escort you to get any items that belong to you over there until your case is either dismissed or you plead guilty or you go to trial. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. I don't look like that.
Lastly, I am gonna appoint you a lawyer free of charge, so you won't have to pay for a lawyer. And so I just need to ask you one last question. As far as a preliminary hearing, would you like to have that hearing or waive that hearing?
Yes, sir. We can have it.
All right, sir. So I'm gonna set your hearing day here. It's gonna be June 25th.
You say the 25th or the 26th?
25th.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you're only gonna have that hearing if you don't make your bond, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, so again, that's June 25th will be your preliminary hearing date. That's gonna be at 8:30 a.m. That's gonna be via Zoom. Your bond amount is $3,500. I've advised you of your special conditions. Do you have any questions before I let you go?
Oh, sir.
All right, sir, and that's all I have for you. Good luck to you.
Have a blessed day, Judge.
You too.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Now you, Mr. Pickle?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Mr. Pickle, you are charged here with 1 count of simple battery one count of criminal trespass, family violence. Your bond amount is 1,500, sir. I spoke with Miss Gordy earlier. You are to have no contact with Miss Gordy, and I understand that you're living there with her, or you were when this allegedly happened. I am allowing Miss Gordy to return back to the residence, sir. You will not, however, until this case is either resolved or one of you all pleads guilty and these conditions are removed. Do you understand that?
Sir.
All right. Now, based on the information you provided to me, sir, I am not going to be able to appoint you a lawyer free of charge, so you will have to get your own lawyer if you would like one for this case. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Last thing I need to ask you, because you're charged with misdemeanors, you are entitled to a preliminary hearing, or you can waive that hearing. Which would you like to do? Have it or waive it?
I'll waive it.
All right, sir. So I'm going to show that you are waiving your right to your preliminary hearing. That means the deputies there to your right will have a piece of paper for you to sign, sir. And once you sign that piece of paper, that's all I have for you this morning, sir. Good luck to you.
I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. All right. Are you Mr. Rice?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes.
Mr. Rice, you are charged with one count of simple battery family violence, sir. Your bond amount is $2,500. Do you understand that?
Sure.
You do have a special condition, sir, and that's to stay away from a Miss Rochelle Bain, as well as the address of 7635 Lakemore Drive. Do you understand that?
Yeah, but I used to wait.
Say that again.
I live there.
All right. So as I said earlier, sir, if that's what you live, if that's where you live or lived when this happened, you will have to contact the sheriff's office, and upon your release, they will escort you there. You'll be able to get some items that belong to you, but you cannot live there until this is either modified or your case is closed. Do you understand? Do you have any children, sir?
Yeah.
How many?
I have two.
Are you taking care of them?
Um,
Are you taking care of them alone or with someone else?
For someone else.
All right, sir. So based on that information, I am not going to be able to appoint you a lawyer this morning. So you will have to get one free of, you will have to retain your own lawyer. Do you understand? Lastly, because you are charged with the misdemeanors, you have a right to a preliminary hearing, or you can waive that right. Which would you like to do this morning? Was that waive? I'm sorry?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'm going to show that you are waiving your right to your preliminary hearing. And so based on that information, sir, the deputies there to your right will have a piece of paper for you to sign. Once you sign that piece of paper, sir, that's all we have for you this morning. Good luck to you. Thank you.
You go do the thing, you say what you do.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. Are you Mr. Richardson? Is that correct? Are you Mr. Richardson?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Mr. Richardson, you are charged here with one count of possession of less than 1 ounce of marijuana, one count of speeding. Or based on the information that I have here this morning, I am going to go ahead and release you. Do you understand that? Can you hear me, Mr. Richardson?
I'm sorry that door slammed, but yes, I heard you.
Okay, so I am going to release you this morning. Doesn't mean your case is over. It just means you're going to go home today until you get your next court date in the mail, okay?
Okay.
Now, I am not going to be able to appoint you a court-appointed lawyer based on the information I have. So you will have to obtain your own lawyer if you feel as if you need one, okay?
Okay.
All right, sir. Well, that's all I have for you. Unless you have any questions for me, that's all I got.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck to you.
Good morning, sir. Who would you like next?
I'm showing a Mr. Hyde.
Side.
Hyde, Hyde. And then I've got Smith, and then I've got White. Well, you know what? I guess you said there was one. Do you have a lot and a limb?
And a win?
Danielle.
Yeah. So let's do this. Let's do Hyde. Let's do Lynn after that, and then Smith. Hyde, Lynn, and Smith. Are you Mr. David Hyde?
Yes, sir. Should be done with Joe.
All right. So Mr. Hyde, you are charged with one count of battery and one count of cruelty to children, sir. The battery carries a bond amount of $5,000. The cruelty to children carries a bond amount of $7,500. Your total bond, therefore, sir, is $12,500. Do you understand that?
Correct.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
All right, and I see you are not working. Is that correct, sir?
Yes.
Okay, so I am gonna go ahead. I'm gonna appoint you a court-appointed lawyer here this morning that will be able to help you out in your case. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Hyde, because you are charged with felonies here, should you not make your bond, sir, your next court date is going to be June 26th, and that's gonna be at 8:30 a.m., and that's gonna be via Zoom. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Again, that's June 26th, 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. That's all. Unless you have any questions for me, sir, that's all I've got for you.
Yes, I have one, my preliminary.
June 26th.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
You good?
You can go back.
You go back.
You have to.
And what's your name, sir?
Danielle.
Just had your, can we hold on Mr. Lynn for 1 second? I just had his paperwork on. Yeah, just hold for 1 second. Who you got after him?
What's your name, sir?
Should be Smith.
Smith.
Yeah, are you Kenneth Smith?
Sir.
So, Mr. Smith, you're charged with 1 count of DUI, let's say, 1 count of improper lane change, 1 count of failure to move to the side for an emergency vehicle. The DUI carries a bond amount of $2,500. Improper lane change, $172. Failure to yield, $335. Do you understand that?
Sir.
Now, Mr. Smith, are you currently working?
Yes, sir.
And about how much are you earning per month? Mr. Smith? About how much?
1,600 to 2,000.
Okay, so based on that, sir, I am gonna go ahead and I'm gonna appoint you a court-appointed lawyer here this morning to help you on your case. Now, my question to you is, sir, because you are charged with misdemeanors, you have the right to a court, preliminary hearing, or I can waive that right to a preliminary hearing. Which would you like to do? Would you like to have that hearing or waive that hearing? I'm sorry? I can't hear you, sir. Can you tell me which would you like to? I say, because you are charged with misdemeanor, you have the right to a preliminary hearing, or you have the right to waive that preliminary hearing. Which would you like to do this morning? A preliminary hearing is a hearing where you're there, the police are there, and the judge is there, and it's where they'll review the case and review the evidence against you. If they believe there's enough evidence against you, your case goes forward to the prosecutor. If they believe it's not enough evidence, they can dismiss your case. Then and there, it goes away unless and until the prosecutor brings it back later if he wants to. So it's up to you. I can set that hearing date, or we can waive that hearing. You said waive? Is that correct, sir?
Yeah.
All right, so Mr. Smith, I'm gonna show you are waiving your right to your preliminary hearing. And so based on that, sir, that means the deputies there to your right will have a piece of paper for you to sign. And once you sign that paper, Mr. Smith, I believe that's all I got for you today. All right, and you can bring up Lynn. I'm ready for Lynn. All right, so Mr. Lynn, you are charged with 1 count of speeding, 1 count of DUI, and 1 count of open container. The bond amount for the speeding is $2,500. The bond amount for the DUI is $5,000. I am dismissing the open container violation. So, sir, your total bond amount is $7,500. Do you understand that? All right, so I see you're working and you're earning about $2,000 a month. Is that right? All right, so based on the information that you have provided to me, sir, I am going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer. You will have a lawyer free of charge to help you on your case, okay? Now, lastly, as far as the preliminary hearing goes, do you want to have that hearing or waive that hearing? All right, sir, so I'm going to show that you are waiving your right to your preliminary hearing. And so that means that the deputies there will have a piece of paper for you to sign. And once you sign that piece of paper, sir, that's all we got for you this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you all have a White and a Wilson? I've got White, Wilson as being left, and then Lott, Allen, and people who need translators. So we can have White and Wilson. White and Wilson. White and Wilson, if we got. Are you Mr. White?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Mr. White, you were charged with 1 count of possession of marijuana. Based on the information I have before me, sir, possession of less than 1 ounce, I am gonna go ahead and release you here this morning, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Now, based on the information you provided to me, sir, however, I am not going to be able to appoint you a lawyer. And so that means you will have to hire your own lawyer. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. Do you have any other questions for me this morning?
No, sir.
All right, sir. Then that's all I have for you, Mr. White. Good luck to you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, actually, Mr. White, just one last thing.
Sir.
The deputies will have a piece of paper there for you to sign that you'll need to sign as well.
All right, that'll
All
work.
right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I think.
Are you Mr. Wilson?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Wilson, you are charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. Sir, based on the information I have here this morning, sir, I am gonna go ahead and release you this morning. It doesn't mean your case is over, sir, just like the gentleman before you. Just means I'm releasing you and your next court date is gonna come in the mail, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Are you currently working?
Yes, sir.
How much are you earning per month?
I want to tell you the wrong amount, but I get paid every week.
Okay, about on average, how much you getting per week?
Let's see, sometimes like 8 or 7.
Okay.
But
So
I'm not at that same job right now. I'm trying to build my own business, so I probably making maybe about 3 or 4 a week now.
Okay. So based on that information then, sir, I am gonna go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer here this morning.
Yes, sir.
Which means, free of charge, so they'll be able to assist you
Yes, sir.
moving forward on your case, okay?
And I also need to change my address. I put my old address on the paper.
Okay. So if you need to change your address, sir, then you'll need to let, unless and until, well, let me say it this way. When you make your bond, with the sheriff's office, let them know that, and then they'll make sure that you've got the correct the correct address, okay?
And you say my court date is gonna come in the mail?
Yes, your next court date is gonna come in the mail, yes.
Okay,
But
I appreciate it.
Okay, so do you have any questions for me about anything? So let's just go over it. I'm releasing to you today. Doesn't mean your court date's over. You understand you're just being released. I am gonna give you a lawyer free of charge. And because you are being released today, that means you are waiving your right to your preliminary hearing. So your next court date's gonna come in the mail, okay?
Thank you, sir.
All right, any questions of me before I let you go?
No, sir, appreciate it.
All right, good luck to you.
All right, thank you.
Deputies, do you all have a Laquan Lott and a Ricky Allen?
There's a lot right here.
All right, if I can have,
Mr. Allen is the fugitive from justice. Hey.
give me 1 second, sir. All right, so Mr. Lott, you are charged with 1 count of improper lane change and 1 count of DUI less safe. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Your bond amount for the improper lane change is $500. Your bond amount for the DUI less safe is $5,000 for a total bond of $5,500. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, I understand that you're making about $4,500 per month. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, so based on that, sir, you do not qualify for a court-appointed lawyer, so you will have to obtain your own free of charge. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, as far as your preliminary hearing, sir, would you like to have that hearing or waive that hearing?
I'll waive it.
All right, sir. So I'm going to show that you are waiving your right to the preliminary hearing this morning. And so because you are waiving that right, the deputies will have a piece of paper there for you to sign. And once you sign that piece of paper, that's all I have for you this morning, sir. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
And are you Mr. Allen?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. Allen, your situation's a little different here, so I'm gonna go over a couple of things here with you. Now, as the way yours works is you are called what we call a fugitive from justice. And what that means is, sir, is that you do not have any charges pending in Clayton County, that the only charges that you have pending are actually out of state. And according to the information I have, they actually derive from, I believe it was Florida. Yes, out of the state of Florida, out of Broward County. Now, you got some options here. These Broward County has to come and pick you up if they want to move forward on this, right? So I give you the options here. Option one is you say to me, Judge, I'd rather you send me on back. I'm going to waive my right to a hearing and let me deal with the charges there in Florida. Okay. Option two is you tell me, Judge, I don't know if they did things right, if they did the procedure right in the state of Florida, and I want to challenge that, which means you will sit here until your court date comes. You could be here at least a minimum of 30 days. And if those 30 days come and go and they still have not set your court date, they have an additional up to 60 days to get your hearing date here in Clayton County for any procedural issues. So it's not as if you'll be going over what happened, but it's procedural issues. Did they do the right thing in Florida for you to have to go back? Okay, so option one, waive it, and we'll get the deputies. The deputies here in Clayton will get in touch with Broward County, and they will get on over there and get your information and get you down there as soon as possible. And just as a side note, if they don't come within 30 days to get you, Clayton will release you. Okay, so option one, waive it. They'll try to come get you. 30 days, they don't get you, you're released. Option two, you don't think that they did everything right procedurally, which means you want a hearing here in Clayton County, and you'll be in custody at least 30 days and up to 90 days until your hearing date is set.
I got it. I'm going to go with option one, except Judge, I got a good, I rented a U-Haul trailer from.
Okay, you don't want to do that. Don't do that. Don't tell me about what happened. This is being recorded. We don't want to go there. All I need to know is, it sounds as if you would like to waive your right to that hearing and see if Broward County will come pick you up. Is that correct?
Yes, but at any time you can shorten that time frame so I don't lose my job. I got a wife, I got a family to feed. This is about a U-Haul trailer that I returned.
Okay, sir. Oh, hold on, Mr. Allen. You don't say it. Now, I have no control over that time limit. It honestly is up to Broward County and how quickly they move. They can come get you quickly, they'll get you. If they can't, then they won't. I really, truly, unfortunately, don't have any power in that.
All right,
Okay.
and I got one more question.
Yes, sir.
Contacted a bail bondsman in Brevard County last night, and he said that they wouldn't release any information to him about my case. So the bail bondsman in Broward County was not even able to access my case to post my bond. So how do I do that? If I'm able to post a bond in Broward County, in Brevard County.
Sure, I understand. Honestly, Broward County would be the folks to get in touch with. I'm not sure why he can't access that.
Brevard County.
Excuse me, Brevard County. Those would be the folks to get in touch with.
Right.
I'm not sure.
The bail bondsman is out of Brevard County, and he's trying to access this warrant in Brevard.
Right, but I'm saying those would be the people to get in touch with, the prosecutor's office down there to find out. He would need to call them to find out about this information there. Because I only know a little bit from what we were able to get from them. So they've got all the necessary information you need.
Okay, now the charge that they had here, when I went to intake here, they say the charge was failure to return leased vehicle.
Correct. And remember, you don't want to talk about it with me.
No, what I'm saying on this paper is saying vehicular theft. That's two
Right.
different.
Well,
Right?
I don't practice out of Florida. I'm just telling you, I've got vehicular theft as well on mine. So I
So-
mean, you can challenge it if you don't think it's right. The procedurally something is wrong, but you're talking about the underlying charge. That's something you got to take up with Brevard County. But my
Yeah.
thing is saying vehicle theft too.
Okay, and also, what is this, writ of habeas corpus mean?
Say that one more time.
He's talking about habeas corpus.
Having
Judge.
been informed of my right to writ of habeas corpus.
Habeas corpus.
Okay, so that's what we were talking about earlier with I just used different words when I was talking about your procedural right to challenge the way that Brevard County is going about trying to get you back.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you shorten that time frame to 72 hours or a week so I can?
Again, remember, I don't have any control over it.
It's hard
really-
for us as black men to keep our job. I
Yes,
did
sir.
right. I got my job. This is some BS. Don't let them let me lose my job over some silly when I don't work this hard to build myself up. And
Yes, sir, and I understand, but we're out of Georgia here. We're out of Georgia. I'm not out of Florida, so unfortunately, I can't tell them to go and how fast to go, okay?
But you can't release me and say, let me go down there and handle it
No,
myself.
sir.
Got to.
No, sir. I cannot.
Okay, so there's nothing the bail bondman can do. Because when I called about this warrant, they wouldn't give me any information. So, they wouldn't give me any information about this warrant.
So, Mr. Allen, I can't, again, this is Georgia. I can't give you information about Florida. I don't know anything about it other than what they provided to me. So you're gonna have to continue to try to get in touch with them between you and your bail bondsman.
Okay, so that's really my only way out is to get them to release me down there.
Yes, sir.
Or come get me.
Yes, sir.
If they release me down there, then you release me here.
Well, I'm letting you go already now, but you gotta, yes, I see what you're asking me. Yes, that's correct. Once they come get you, you're done here.
Or if the bail bondsman post my bond down here, you release me here.
You would already be released, yes.
I would already be released.
So the only thing holding you is Florida. The only thing holding you. My document will let you go as soon as Florida comes get you. If Florida lets you go, you're already done. Then you're done. Okay. All right.
They get in touch with y'all to say, let them go.
You don't have to. You don't have to, Mr. Allen. We'll already have done that.
All right.
All right. All right. So, Mr. Nguyen, and what language does Mr. Nguyen need?
Oh, okay.
Mr. Nguyen?
Vietnamese. Yeah.
Vietnamese. Okay, if you all would just hold for 1 second, let me see if I can get someone on the line.
They've been doing it for the day. It's been a big story with Hertz Rental, and it's another rental company, and people return. Yes. There was a big specialty news about that, like so many people got locked up in there, and that's why I don't rent them, period.
You kind of see.
okay? All right. All right, if I could have Mr. Nguyen, please, Deputy.
John.
All right. All right, Madam Interpreter, if you would introduce yourself to, his name is Mr. Nguyen.
Dạ, xin chào anh, đây là thông dịch viên, anh nghe được không?
Yeah.
We're ready.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Morning. We're ready for you.
All right, Mr. Nguyen, you are charged with 1 count of theft by receiving.
One count of, can you repeat that for me?
He is charged with 1 count of theft by receiving.
Nào, cái charge đầu tiên của anh là cái buộc phạm tội đầu tiên, đó là cái trộm cắp nhá. Receiving là nhận được của sự trộm cắp.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Your bond is $5,000.
Nếu như mà bảo lãnh để tại ngoại sẽ là 5.000.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me about anything?
Anh có câu hỏi tôi không?
No, sir.
Are you currently working, Mr. Nguyen?
Yes, sir.
Làm không anh?
Yes.
And how much are you making per month?
Around 5,000.
Okay, Mr. Nguyen, we have to do it with the interpreter, so let the interpreter ask you first, okay? All right, and Madam Interpreter, if you would.
Anh vui lòng không trả lời trước khi được thông dịch viên nói nhé.
Dạ.
Lương tháng của anh bao nhiêu tiền?
Khoảng 5.000.
Around $5,000 a month.
Okay. All right, so based on that, sir, I am not going to be able to appoint you a lawyer free of charge, so you will have to hire your own if you would like one.
Tòa án sẽ không có ủy quyền được luật sư cho anh. Nếu anh mong muốn có được luật sư, mình sẽ phải tự làm và trách nhiệm để thuê điều này nhé.
Yes, sir.
Now, if you don't make your bond by next month, your next court date is going to be June 26th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom.
Interpreter speaking, sir. You say 6/26. What time again for me?
His next court date will be June 26th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom if he does not make his bond.
Nếu như mà anh không có bất cứ một sự tại ngoại nào hay đóng cái số tiền được cho phép tại ngoại, thì cái ngày mà tòa của anh tiếp theo đó, qua Zoom là qua máy tính thôi, sẽ là 26 tháng 6, 8 giờ 30 phút sáng.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Do you have any more questions for me, sir?
Anh muốn hỏi gì không ạ?
No, sir.
All right, sir. Then that's all I have for you. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right. All right, Matt. Thank you. All right, Madam Interpreter, that's all I have for you.
Have a good day, sir.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And
All
this.
right, deputies, if you would just give me one moment to try to get someone online for him.
Okay.
Yeah, 5,000. You go to a bond company, it'll be right at
love for you to assist us. If you would please introduce yourself. His name is Mr. Soy.
Okay. السلام عليكم من فاطمة مالك راجل.
Salam.
Okay. All right, ma'am, if you would tell Mr. Soy, he is charged with 1 count of loitering and 1 count of obstructing an officer.
Okay. Như là đến dañ lay kii dañ lay maanaam dañ lay li tax ñuy jàppale mooy parce que da nga doon loitering mooy nga jël ay bagages yu ko sànni ci wala ay nit ak yooyu ba pare nga xuloo ak ci policier yi.
Déedéet am dëpp la ma jàppee.
Dégguma.
ma ne man am dëpp la ma jàppee am dëpp. jàpp moom ma si palaas de am dëpp la ma jàppee si biir am dëpp bi.
waaw looloo tax da nga doon taxawaalu foofu moo tax ñu jàpp la loolu la lay wax ni.
waaw xam nga rek dañu doon xam nga bu ñu nekkee fii rek li jënd lu ñu lekk rek moo waral ñu dem am dëpp di ut liggéey.
We just wanted to buy food, that's why we were at the home this morning.
Okay. And Mr. Soy, please, today, can you tell him, today I'm just telling him what he's charged with, to not go into detail, because this is being recorded and I don't want him to hurt his case.
Okay. Ñu nag bëggul nga ndax lii dañ koy filmé nee na bul nekk di wax lu bari daal di yàqal sa bopp nee na dañ lay wax rek accusation yi nga xamante ne moom lañ la jàppee muy taxawaay bi ak aussi tamit jàppante bi nga doon jàppante policier.
maa ngi jégalu pas si tontu waaw maa ngi jégalu pas.
Okay.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Are you working, sir?
nee na yaa ngi liggéey.
Déedéet liggéey ma.
No, I'm not working.
Okay. So I am going to appoint you a lawyer free of charge to help you on your case.
nee na dina la wutal kii mu ngi tudd avocat boo xamante ne dem ci ba teg doog bi.
waaw waaw. am ngay gërëm.
Okay. Now, Mr. Soy, based on the information that I have here, I am going to release you today. That doesn't mean your case is over, but please be on the lookout in the mail for your next court date.
nee na tey dinañ la libéré mais ça veut pas dire que ne ñoom amoo kii da nga war a ñëw dinañ la yónnee par lettre. dinañ la envoyé lettre pour que moom nga ñëw wuyu si tribunal.
am benn problème.
Okay, no problem.
All right. Do you have any questions of me, sir?
Non bëgguma laaj leneen parce que xam nga rek maa ngi sant di gërëm si loolu daal wax dëgg yàlla parce que amul leneen lu ma siy teg daal.
All right. Well, good luck to you, sir.
Judge, you want her to sign a waiver?
Yes, he needs to sign a waiver as well.
Okay, will you tell her to sign this waiver?
Okay. Madam Interpreter, will you let Mr. Soy know he needs to sign a piece of paper the deputy is going to hand to him?
No.
Okay.
All right. That's all I have, Madam Interpreter. Thank you.
Okay. You the last one.
Okay.
You the last one, Judge.
All right. Once he signs, I believe that's it then.
That's it, Judge.
All right. Thank you.
So you have a good one.
Bye-bye.